And we're back for another episode. In this episode, I'm going to be giving my advice about how to prepare for the next expansion, or 4.0. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So, you might think, hey Mithrie, they haven't even announced the next expansion yet. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you prepare for it now? And it's just stemming from my 10 plus years experience playing MMOs. So, and I am, to be honest, since A Realm Reborn started, or even since Heavensward started, I've always had the next expansion in mind. Like, what can I do as a player that will benefit me in the long term? So, for example, one of the very first things I did was I got all of my crafters and gatherers to 60 straight away. That's pretty much the first thing I did in Heavensward. I think I did that even before I hit 60 Paladin. And the reason I did that is because I knew straight away that having capped crafters and gatherers would help me to no end, as it has throughout this entire expansion. And what it means as well, that when the next expansion comes out, I will be ready for leveling up to level 70 or whatever the new cap is going to be. So it's literally the first thing I did. And as you guys know, I've taken a break from the game and coming back to it. But now one of the priorities is level up all the rest of my classes to 60, so that when the next expansion launches, it's a case of choose which class I want to do to 70 first, rather than I have to do Paladin because it's the only class I've leveled, for example. So number one, I would say, is level all classes. That would be number one, just because it will then give you the choice. Because you have to bear in mind as well that even though now, let's say right now, Warrior is my favorite class, everything gets jumbled up in expansions. All the skills change, all new skills come in, classes get balanced differently. They might even add new classes into the game as well. So I really feel it's important to have the option to be anything rather than being stuck with one class, even if it gets buffed or nerfed, because it's almost like a gamble if you put all of your assumption that your warrior is going to be amazing forever, let's say. Okay, and then number two priority, to be honest, it really scales down from then on. So farm Gil, I suppose. I don't think it would matter too much, just because, and I say that because whenever a new expansion launches, the in-game currency becomes worth even less, which means that if you were to start the game in 4.0, then the amount of money flowing will be 1,000 times more than it was when a 2.0 first launched. Therefore, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, especially if you follow my new players guild guide, to be able to make money as a new player. It really isn't that big of a deal. And the other things you can do as well, you can do the main story. You need to finish the main story, because if we assume it follows the trend of the transition from 2.0 to 3.0, then we can assume that you'll need most of the story done for 3.0 to go into 4.0. But the thing is though, even if that's not the case, if that turns out to be a wrong prediction, the story is epic, so you should do it anyway. Just experience it. Don't skip the cutscenes. Read it all. Watch all the cutscenes. Enjoy it to the max. The story in this game is epic. And then after that as well, then do other things like beast tribes. I thought it was cool to just do all the beast tribes to get all the rewards, all the mounts, all the minions and stuff like that. And I'm trying to catch up and do that in Heavensward as well. And then also, if you like achievement farming, for example, that could be another thing to do. Just farm as many achievements as you can, because in the long run, basically, it's a good idea and it's fun to be able to focus on new achievements rather than, let's say in 4.0, having to do 2.0 achievements, stuff which is really, really old at that point. So, go through the list. This is assuming you play the game as much as I used to, just finish the list basically. And a way to do it as well, if you want to know exactly what to work on, just only do this: show incomplete, which means you can then focus on which ones to do. So for example, there are achievements and titles if you level every class in the game to 60. So if you get all Disciples of War to 60, you get Grandmaster of War, Same Grandmaster of Magic. I've already got Grandmaster of the Hand and Land because I leveled all my crafters and gatherers. So, and again, like I said, it's for the choice as well. And beyond that, to be honest, that's it. You know, that's it. That's the preparation guide. Level all your classes. Maybe farm some gil. It's not as important. Maybe do some achievement farming and so on. Now, I would say, like, there might be some people listening who'd be like, hey, Mithrie, you didn't mention anything about raiding. Now, the thing is, for me, as you guys know, I am not a raider anymore. I used to be, but I'm just not anymore. And it's nice to finish it. So, for example, before 2.0 ended, I was absolutely determined to get turn 13 or Final Call of Bahamut cleared, which I did do. But I only cleared it the one time, and even that one time I cleared it, I was helped by the amazing Xenesis Vex. And I cleared it because I wanted to see the story involved. Now, one final note I'll make to this video, because I've seen a lot of talk about it recently, is this whole thing of, hardcore raider versus casual players. Like, when and how determined is the community and how negative does it have to be that there must be some form of discrimination? Even between gamers, it's ridiculous. Like, the whole thing of, oh, you're not a hardcore raider, therefore you don't know anything about the game. It's like, no one can say to me after my time in this game, I don't know anything about it, Like, well, I won't prove anything. I don't need to, And I just find it ridiculous. So guys, we're gamers. We play the game however we like. If someone chooses to be world first in Alexander, good for them. If someone chooses to be a hardcore crafter, if that's even a phrase, good for them. If someone chooses to log in 1 hour a week and they love that 1 hour a week, good for them. It doesn't have to be this versus that and all this rubbish. Now, I really will try my very best in all the videos I make and all the content I release to push forward positivity and happiness between gamers, and that's regardless of what game I'm playing. And the thing is, though, like, I know very well that a lot of the internet is full of trolls. A lot of the internet is also full of children, people who do not understand the repercussions of their words, or they're trying to be cool, like, oh, look how bad I was because I was able to insult so-and-so on the internet behind my computer. I'm such a hero. This stuff is very childish. It's very ridiculous. It's caused a lot of hate to come towards myself, towards Limit Break Radio, who do a podcast for the game, towards previously, the fact that the phrase happy hater exists towards Mr. Happy is because of that sheer level of negativity. And all I will say is, don't bring it here. Do not bring it here, because I will shoot down anyone who talks bad about me. Simple as that. And I've got 31 years experience of being able to do that. So really, guys, it's just, please, for the love of God, just be nice, okay? So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me and goodbye from Mithrie.